Hi everyone, welcome. I am so glad that you are here today to learn more about Google Classroom. As you're getting situated, I'll tell you that if you look up in your right-hand corner of your screen, you will see the little squares. Some teachers call it a waffle, some teachers call it a dice, but you'll see those squares, and if you click on them, you're going to get two choices. You're going to get Q&A, and you're also going to get Showcase. If you can click on Q&A, then you'll be able to submit questions as I go along, and I'll be able to answer those questions. And one of the neat parts is if you go back to review the answer to your question, it will skip right to that part where you ask the question later on. So up to you if you'd like to submit some questions, but I'll answer them as I go. I'm going to give everyone a minute or two to join in. If you can, click on that Q&A in the top right-hand corner and just let me know you're here so that I can see how many are here. I think we had about 10 people signed up. We've had great active participation over the last couple of days. So we've captured about 15 teachers, which is awesome. So you all are becoming the Google Classroom experts for sure. And after we're done today with this, if you want to meet with me privately or in a group, just on a Google Hangout after this, I can answer some other questions that you may have. So just let me know. So far, I'm not seeing anyone here. Hopefully, we'll get a few others to join. Oh, we've got a viewer. So if you can go ahead and click in the right-hand corner on the squares and choose Q&A and just let me know who's here. We've got 2 viewers, so slowly coming in. Sometimes it takes a minute to get to the email and click on the link and get in. So we'll start in just a couple of minutes. Again, if you can click on the Q&A and just let me know that you're here, type a, hi, I'm here, and let me know. It'll tell me who you are, and once you do that, so I can let everyone know who's here. And again, during this webinar, if you have questions, please write those into the Q&A and I will address those as they come in. So I'm watching for questions right now and I can address those as we go. So I do have a presentation for you that we'll start on in just another minute. We got started yesterday and the day before about 5 minutes after. So that gave everyone a chance to get on and get linked in and to get started. So if you know someone who was unable to attend one of these 3 webinars this week, you can always go back and review by visiting my YouTube page, or they're linked up on Twitter. I've got them all over, so they can go back and review any of these webinars, and if you need to review before setting up your class. So give you another couple of minutes and we will get started. If you're just joining us, please look up in the top right-hand corner where you'll see the little squares. And it's Terry. Hi, Terry. Great to see you. So glad that you're joining us today. And hopefully I'll get all your questions answered about Google Classroom so that you'll be able to start setting your classes up. We're going to go through a lot of features of Google Classroom today, even some advanced features. So, and what's great is you can choose to use the advanced features. You can choose not to. You can choose to, just be kind of subtle this first year in it and just set your classes up and post homework if you want to. Completely up to you how you want to utilize this tool, but it is a great way for you to connect with your students and parents. So, while we wait on viewers to come in, just so you know, there is a separate Google Classroom app that you can download on your phone or on your iPad or any Android even. So that makes it really easy for parents. And what parents can do is if they can get their username from their child, and they can log into Google Classroom. How it was with group spaces was the parents would have to go to the Canterbury website, then they would have to click on Parent Portal, then they would have to log into the Parent Portal, then they would have to click on Group Spaces, then they would have to go into the homework section on Group Spaces, and therefore, parents just didn't have time for all of that. So I'm really, really happy that we're moving in this direction, because all they'll have to do is click Google Classroom, and right there they'll be able to see all their classes that their children are in. So We are going to be using this grades 4 through 12. So it's possible that next year we could even take this on down into the lower school and create Google accounts for them. So I'll appreciate your feedback as we move throughout the school year. And so hopefully that we know how to proceed with Google Classroom. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. If you're just joining us, please click in the right-hand corner on the squares and click on the Q&A and just let me know you're here. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to start on, let's see. Okay. Oops, let me go back here. Sorry, I thought my presentation was loaded. So right now I'm in Nearpod, so this is actually great for you to see. If you've never tried Nearpod, please create an account and log in. You can get a free account for educators. So if we find that this is something that you are really using and want to utilize, then you can. So what's neat is you can give your students the pin and they can follow along with you, or you can put it up live in front of your classroom. Totally up to you. So here we go. Okay, so let's start here. Kind of the whys of Google Classroom and how it's organized. Google Classroom allows teachers to create and collect assignments paperlessly. Now, does that mean that all your assignments are going to be paperless? No, of course not. But it allows you the chance to do that if you so choose. So you'll be able to create Google Docs and have those be the assignment. You could upload as PDFs, you know, whatever you want to do. And then that way you can grade from home, you can grade from anywhere, submit grades right through Google Classroom if you want to. But it will save you a lot of time once you get everything set up with your classroom. So you can even look at features like making a copy of the Google document for each student. And then that way you could look at each of their documents and grade and comment and annotate within those documents. So that's a choice. Within Google Drive, you can create folders and assignments for students, and it will help you to stay organized and help the students to stay organized. Students can keep track of what's due. If you look, we're going to take a look in just a moment at the assignments page, and they'll be able to keep track of what's due. And it's easy for the students to see, for you to see, and for the parents to see, which is really nice. So you can quickly see who has or hasn't completed work. You can provide direct real-time feedback and enter grades in if you want to. You don't have to choose to enter grades in if you don't want to, but we're going to talk more in depth about that. And you're probably thinking, wait a minute, we already have a grades program. Yes, I'm not saying replace that program. So I'm going to show you what some of your options are with that. You can send announcements and start class discussions instantly. So maybe your first day of school, you may even want to start, what did you do over the summer? You know, and have a discussion between all the students, and they can comment back and forth with each other. All right, so we're going to start with just a short video, and this will take you through just how to create a class, through some of the first basic steps, and then from there we'll go into some of the more advanced features. You won't be able to hear sound on this, I don't think, so don't worry about sound. It's just some nice elevator music.
On now. So Julie, you gotta stay tuned because we're gonna do an ICSC style later today, but we'll announce probably on Periscope. These brief ICSC on activities. So I'm loving spacing.
Okay, so that kind of gave you an idea of what you're going to be looking at within Google Classroom. Again, if you're just joining us, if you can look up in the right-hand corner, you're going to see the little squares that we often talk about. If you can click on those, you're going to see two choices. One of them is going to be Showcase, the other one will be Q&A. And if you can click on Q&A and just type in, let me know you're here, then I know who is joining us today. I'd love to say hi. All right, so moving on, I want to talk first about assignments because I know you're already thinking about, the beginning of the school year, what assignments you're going to have with your students. And so you're probably wanting to already start to enter some of those in, I bet. So Google Classroom weaves together Google Docs, which most of you have already used, Google Drive, and Gmail, which I know that you're using, so teachers can create and collect assignments paperlessly. Within Classroom, teachers can create an assignment. You can use it in all your classes, and you can choose how students complete the assignment. So for example, whether each student receives an individual copy or all the students work on the same copy, which sometimes is a really nice option because maybe you want to do some kind of a collaborative piece where everybody writes within the same document. So the teacher, so you can track who has completed the assignment and who hasn't, which you saw in the video, and you can provide immediate individual feedback for the students. So I'm going to show you an example of that flow between you and the students and how that would look. So first, you would create an assignment with an attached Google Doc, and I'm going to take you through and show you exactly how to do that and how to attach it and upload it to Google Classroom as soon as we're done with this flow chart here. So what will happen is after you've done that and you've uploaded it to Google Classroom, the student will receive it within Google Classroom. They'll also receive an email. Now, are the students going to be checking their email all the time? No. So I would encourage them to check their Google Classroom, see what assignments they have, and all the assignments are posted in the same place. And I'm going to show you that too, so that there's no excuse. They can't come back to school and say, well, I didn't know I had an assignment in your class. I didn't see it. There is a button that will tell exactly which assignments are due for which class. So no confusion can take place there. So the student will edit the copy of the homework that you send or the assignment, and they'll turn it in. And what's neat is with Google Classroom, they're now going to get this new button in a Google Doc that says turn in. It's blue and it pops up. And so as soon as they're done completing the assignment, they click turn in. It immediately goes back to you. So what happens is it comes back to you. You can grade the assignment, you can give them points, or if you want to do it ungraded, just check off that they did it. However, that's up to you. We're going to talk more in depth about that. Then it goes right back to them so the student can review it and they can edit it if they need to. Maybe they missed a couple points and you're allowing them to edit it and get those points back, which is part of course, the learning process. So I told you I would take you through how to create that Google document. So let me go ahead and do that. I am going to go into I'm in my email right now. So I'm going to go here and go to Google Drive. Okay, within Google Drive, and you can do this one of two ways. If you want to click here and just click Docs, you can do that too and create a document right from there. Or you can go into Google Drive, go to New, Google Docs. Same thing. All right, so here's my document, and I'm going to name this Pretend Document 8.6. Okay, and maybe on this document, I want to know, what did you do over the summer? All right, you see it's saving right here. I don't even have to go to File Save, which is something else that's really nice about Google. It automatically saves everything that you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my email because I'm going to go right into Google Classroom. You'll find Google Classroom right down here under More. Make sure you're seeing my screen. Yes, good. Okay, so now I love that it brought me to this page because my default email in my computer is my personal email. And if it defaults to your personal email, it's going to say, well, sorry, you can't get in because Google Classroom is only available for educators. Okay, so I need to switch accounts. So I'm going to go up here and go to my Canterbury account. Here I am. So this is Google Classroom. I'm right now a teacher in a lot of these different classes, which is another feature that you have, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So I'm going to go over here to home, and remember I told you that the students can see all their assignments. if they click assignments, all classes, they'll be able to see every assignment that's due. Now, since I'm logged in as a teacher, I see all the assignments for every class. I see how many students have done them, how many have not done them. That's something the students won't see, but they'll be able to see all their assignments. Now, they can also click here and they can just go to whatever class and look at the assignments just for that certain class, which is really nice. As a teacher, you can look at which ones need to be reviewed and which ones you've already reviewed. So it gives you that option as well. Okay, so let me go back home. And you're going to see this plus sign here, and you saw this on the video. So if you click the plus sign, you're going to get two choices, join class or create class. We're going to create a class, and we're going to call this 8-6 pretend class. It's up to you if you want to do a section. You can do that if you'd like. I'm just going to leave that blank for now and click create. Once it creates the class, it's going to create a banner and do all this kind of stuff. And you can play around with that. You can decide, what you want it to look like. So you can either upload your own photo here, or you can select a new theme. So we'll do some jelly beans here. Okay, and so you can customize it for each class. So Google Classroom is pretty simple. You only have 3 choices here. Stream, which is like your announcements, your assignments, everything will fall into your stream. So if you're a real avid Facebook user, this is kind of like your wall of your Facebook. It's your stream. That's where everything is. Student section would be almost kind of like your friends on Facebook, I suppose, but this is where all the I hate making it sound like it's Facebookish because it's not at all, but I'm just trying to give you like terms. This is where all the students will go. So when a student joins the class, they're going to get that plus sign up there, if you remember, and they're going to click join class, and you're going to give them the code to join the class. I highly recommend not inviting them. If you sit and invite every one of your students, first of all, you're wasting time inviting them all that you could be, working on other things. And this is just advice. You can do whatever you would like to do, but I'm just giving you some advice. And the other part of it is students aren't going to check their email to see they even have an invite. They're not going to even know. So I would just highly recommend not using that feature. Let them join the class the very first day. Do it together with your students, because then you'll be able to know who got in, who didn't get in. You're going to have issues with students saying, I don't remember my password. So there's going to be lots that's going on those first few days of school. And I would just do it together with your students. Every class that you create is going to have a unique join code. So I would write these down and maybe put them on the front board of your classroom so that the students know which one to join. Then you're going to have an About tab. The About tab is almost just kind of like a dumping ground for materials, for resources, your syllabus, rubrics, whatever you want to put here, you can put here for the whole school year, and you can add to it. You can add websites, you can add videos, you can add documents, whatever you want to add here. But it's really nice because maybe there's a document like a rubric that they need to refer back to several times within the school year. So this would be a perfect place to put that. And then if they say, oh, I lost my rubric, well, there it is. It's in the About section of the Google Classroom. So no more, dog ate my homework, or I lost a piece of paper. Upload it into here, and then they can always get to it. All right. So I told you that I would show you how to create an assignment, and we created that pretend assignment within, if you remember, within Google Docs. So I'm going to go back to my classroom, and I'm going to click on assignment. This is my pretend assignment 8. Oh goodness, A-S-I-G-N-M-E-T 8-6. Okay, so you can add a description if you'd like. The due date will be Friday. You can add a time, whatever time you want it turned in. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I need to attach that pretend document that I made. Now, if you don't make the document first, it's not going to give you the option to make to let every student have a copy of it. So make sure that you create that document first, that you're creating the assignment. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to attach. It's in my drive. I called it pretend assignment, or no, pretend document 8-6. There it is. Over here to the right, say that this is just something that you want them to view. You can choose just for them to view the file, and they won't have editing rights to it. You could choose where all the students have editing rights on the same document. If you choose this middle one here, it means that all your students can edit, all your students in this particular class can edit that same file on the same document. Or you have the option to make a copy for each student. So what'll happen is then every student in your class will receive an email, and it'll say, you know, you have a pretend assignment 8-6 due. So I'm going to make a copy for each student, and I'm going to assign it. It'll pop up here under upcoming assignments. It's due tomorrow. So again, there's no guessing when it comes to what is due. When a student logs into Google Classroom, they can either go here and look at all their assignments, or as soon as they go into your class, it's going to say, this is due tomorrow. It's in red. So there's no question. Now, on your end of things as a teacher, you'll be able to go into each assignment here, and you can see how many have done it and how many haven't done it. So as soon as they click in the Turn In button on the document, once the student gets it, then they can complete it, and it will automatically populate here to say that the student is done. So I'm going to go back to my Nearpod lesson. Let me check back. No questions yet. Remember, if you have any questions, please click on the squares in your top right-hand corner and click on Q&A, and you can ask me any questions as we go through, and I'll answer those as we go. Okay, so we just talked about assignments. We talked about creating a copy for each student. After turning in the assignment, now this is very important, after the student turns in the assignment to you, the student loses all editing privileges. So if a student turns it in and they come to you the next day and they say, oh, you know what, I forgot to add the paragraph on such and such, then they have lost those editing rights to that document. It goes to you, and then you'll be able to edit it and add in annotations and comments as you see fit. When you turn it back over to them, then they have editing rights again until the due date. Now, if it's after the due date, it's done. You can always edit that due date if you want to, if the students need more time. So that is up to you. But just so you know kind of the process of editing. And that makes it really nice because this gives you time to collaborate with the students. This will give you time to comment back and have the students answer back as well. So this is nice. You can have a nice open dialogue with your students about what's going on. So often I think students turn in assignments, you grade it, you hand it back, and that's their grade, and they never hear from it again. Or they never get to talk with you about that assignment again. This gives you the platform to have those open discussions and to be able to go back and forth and edit the document so that they can learn from it. So both the teacher and student can see a list of pending and completed class assignments. So the student will know exactly what's due. The teacher can see all the grades for the assignment, and the student can only see their own grades. So no worries, the students cannot see each other's grades. Google Classroom allows you to assign work and collect it. So what Google Classroom does not have, thankfully, is a grade book. Okay, this is what I was telling you earlier. Yes, you can grade within Google Classroom. However, it is not your grade book. We're not replacing the grade book for Canterbury. It just allows you to grade within Google Classroom, and then you can export out all your grades if you'd like into the grading program. Completely up to you. I think this is going to look different for everyone. You could even take all your assignments, and I'll show you how, even all your assignments, and just do ungraded on all of them and put them in as you already know how to within your grading program. You could choose to put in a grade on Google Classroom and transfer them over to the grading program. And what that will do is it'll allow you to grade the assignments as they come in, and you don't feel the pressure of, oh gosh, what was that grade? Oh my gosh, I handed the assignment back. I don't remember. I didn't write it down. You don't have to worry about that. It's in Google Classroom. So then you can just transfer those grades over later before report cards or however you want to do that. So Google Classroom makes it easy and quick to provide student feedback, which we've talked about, by inserting comments right into where you're grading. And I'm going to show you that as well. You saw that in the video too. So we're going to talk a little bit about grading. And if you remember, we had 3 buttons within the classroom. We had Stream, Students, and About. So right now we're talking about the stream. So let me go back to my Google Classroom or my presentation. So for the assignment, and we just did that pretend assignment, you're going to assign grades within this assignment. So you would locate the assignment in the stream, click on the title of the assignment, and it will show you all the students that are enrolled in the class, and it will show you how many have completed the assignment and how many have not. It'll show you the due date as well. So alternatively, instead of clicking on the assignment itself, you can also click on who has done it. So if you just want to look, okay, you know, the assignment's due next week, but I see 3 students have done it. I can click right on that number 3, and then it filters down to those students who have turned the assignment in. So that makes it a little bit simpler as well, and you can go ahead and start grading as the other students are still getting their assignments in. Now, Google Classroom defaults to 100 points for an assignment. It doesn't mean you have to leave every assignment at 100 points. You can choose the point value that you'd like to assign to that homework or that assignment. However, at this time, decimal values are not possible. So I do foresee them adding this at a later time, but of course you can always transfer those points over to a decimal value if you need to, completely up to you. Okay. Whoops, let me go back. Okay. So what you would do is when you're grading, you will enter the student points by clicking on the slot in each student row. So you'll click on you can either check the box or click on each student. So once you click the assignment, if you click enter, it doesn't automatically go to the next student. You have to make sure that you click on the next student. And that's just something you'll just have to practice as you go in and assign point values or grades within Google Classroom. If you want to export your points into your gradebook, you can. You can export them and upload them. So within the grading list, you just click on download, and it will create a CSV file, which then you can upload right into your gradebook, which is a great option. And again, that's something we're going to have to play around with. Of course, I didn't have any grades last year because I didn't have a class last year. So this is not something that I have played around with. So I'll be learning from you on this, and I'm excited to learn more about this feature from you this year. So don't feel like you have to grade. If that's a step that you don't want to take this year, then don't feel like you need to. You could just use Google Classroom for discussions, to post homework, but you don't have to necessarily use this grading feature. Maybe you want to do that in year 2. Maybe there will be some teachers that do want to try this out, and we can learn from each other throughout this process, which is really nice that we're all doing this together. So viewing student work, in the grading list, each student is listed along with the work that they have submitted. So you can click on the submitted attachment to open the document. So what will happen is when you click on that, it will open the document that they've turned in, and then you'll be able to add comments within that document. The comments that you add, as long as you choose copy for each student when you're assigning it, then those comments are private between you and that student, and then the student can comment back as well. Nobody else sees those comments. However, if you choose all students can view, then yes, all your students will be able to view those comments because it's a collaborative document. And there are times when you want to use a collaborative document rather than doing just personalized assignments. Okay, so student work within Google Classroom. Student attachments are automatically saved in a folder in Google Drive. So above the list of student names, there's a button to link to that folder in Google Drive that has the assignments and student work. Student work is appended with their name to make it easy to identify their work in Google Drive. You can click on each of individual student assignment or use preview mode in Google Drive to view multiple students quickly. So I'll show you that in just a moment. We'll come right back to that. When students submit an attachment to the assignment, the teacher becomes the owner of that document. So let me give you an example of what this might be. Say that you have, their assignment is, let me go back to this pretend document. What did you do over the summer? Okay, so maybe their assignment is they have to type in here what they did over the summer, but you also want them to upload attachments of pictures of what they did over the summer. That is possible. So what they would do is they would attach those pictures. Also, they'll get that option to attach those pictures within the assignment. And then that way, when they turn it in, like this says here, the student will lose those editing rights to the document and to those pictures. But once you send it back to them, then of course they've got those editing rights back. So you'll click return, it'll go back to the student, and then they can edit it as needed until that due date. Okay, I already showed you this. This is where you can go up in Google Classroom and you can see all the assignments that are due, and I just love this feature, so there's no question about what's due. The assignment list that you'll see, the one that I just showed you, it shows all the assignments. So in the same way as if the assignments were listed in the stream, you can click on the assignments title right here. To view a list of students, or click on the number done, which we talked about, to only view the list of students who have submitted the assignment. If you graded or provided feedback to students, you can click on the 3 stacked dots right here on the right-hand side of each assignment. This will reveal the option to mark as reviewed. Marking as reviewed removes the assignment from the assignment list and moves it over to the reviewed tab. So what I mean by that is right here, if you click reviewed, it will then move it over to this reviewed tab. So then you'll know whose you've reviewed and whose you haven't. Again, you're just probably going to have to get in and learn as you go throughout the school year, and some of these features you may use and may not use. It'll just depend on how you feel throughout the school year. So let me take you back into Google Classroom. I'm going to go home and show you a few other features before we close up here. Okay, so let me go to my pretend class here. And I want to create an announcement. We didn't talk about announcements yet. So I'm going to create an announcement, and maybe my announcement would be, welcome back to school. Please share who you are and your favorite, I don't know, food. I don't know. Totally up to you. So then what you would want to do, you have the option of adding a document to it, or if you just post it, then you can have a real-time live discussion with your class. So the student can come in here and just add a comment. So they might say, my name is Sam and I like pizza. And then they'll post it. And then the students can talk back and forth with each other. Hi, Sam. I also like pizza. Something else that might be really good for language arts teachers, maybe you want to put up a sentence every day and you want your students to correct it. So I go to the store yesterday. Okay. Obviously that is not grammatically correct. We wouldn't have a question mark on the end. We didn't start with a capital letter. So maybe you want to post that and you want the students to point out the problems that are wrong with the sentence. And I'm just giving you ideas on maybe how you could use the announcement. Maybe you don't want to use it for a live discussion. Maybe you only want to use the announcements to say, field trip tomorrow. Don't forget your money, or whatever. However you want to do that. Okay, and then one other feature that I want to show you in About is over here. You can invite another teacher to almost co-teach with you if you wanted to. Maybe you have a teacher on your team who you're sharing the same assignments. Maybe you're going to be out for a week taking the students on a trip and you want another teacher to have access to your class. Then maybe you could invite them here. And that is actually what, if I go home here, what Jackie did. She invited all of her IS and MS teachers into this class. And actually I can click join now. And I would then join as a teacher into her class. Oh, fun. Look here. Okay, so who are my classmates here? Now I'm in as a student. Okay, she invited me as a student. Look there. Ah, that's fun. Okay, so here's the stream. I love this. Okay, great examples. Jackie did a beautiful job here. So club sign-up sheet, announcements. Oh, look here. Looks like Kara shared her codes here so that everybody can join if they want to as a teacher. This is fantastic. What a great way to share information with each other. So if you wanted to create a separate class just for your division, maybe, just to share resources, you could do that. This is a great platform for that, just to stay informed on what's going on your grade level or on your team. So let's look in the About section, see if anything's here. We've got calendars. This is great. Okay, so I'm in as a student here, just so you know, not a teacher. So Jackie entered me as a student. But that's still great to see. So you can see the student side of things. So when a student logs in, they'll actually click and see classmates instead of students. And they'll get to see who's in their class with them. Okay, so I'm going to unshare my screen here. And if anybody has any questions, go ahead, you can type them into the Q&A so that I can answer them. If you would like to meet with me after this in a private Google Hangout, let me know and I'll send you an invite and we can talk briefly about maybe some things that you've got questions about Google Classroom. But I think this is going to be a great adventure for us this year. And, you know, there's going to be some things in Google Classroom that you like and that you don't like. And I think that that's with any new technology that we use. There's always going to be something that, well, you know, the last thing we used did this, kind of like our email, you know, we couldn't retract emails that were sent, and that was something that the last email program did. So there's always going to be those kinds of issues when you switch over to something new. And like I've told you a few times, Google Classroom is it's not even a year old yet, so they are still developing. And but it's going to be a great platform for us, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to bring parents in on the loop and really get them involved in what their students are doing at school. So if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to contact me. You can call me, Google Hangout, Skype, whatever you need to do, email me, and I'll get back in touch with you. So I so enjoy working with you, and these webinars have been great. We captured about 20 teachers all together at Canterbury, so that's huge, and you all are going to be the Google Classroom experts. So please work with each other, help each other out. It is new to all of us, and so you know, I again look forward to this year. So thank you so much. I'm so glad that you joined. I'll see you all soon.